nice to have you with us. And Friederike, yay. Gosh, I'm so happy that you are all there with me. Okay, so let's get started. If you've been in the challenge the past few days, I think you realize by now that getting good photos for your business is so much more than just being able to take a good picture. There's actually a whole strategy behind it. And if you weren't in the challenge, then that is what you'll discover tonight. In the next hour, you will discover how to feel super confident so you can truly shine and build authority to become the to-go-to person in your area of business. How to truly connect with your dream client so you become a client magnet and make more sales. And how to create your content with ease and flow so you save time to spend on things that you value as important. So this is for you if you feel frustrated because your photos just don't look good enough, no matter how hard you try, and hiring a pro photographer is expensive. You feel super uncomfortable on camera and the idea of becoming more visible just freaks you out, and you find yourself taking like 100 selfies or videos and deleting almost all of them because you feel you look horrible. And that really breaks my heart because I feel that we have heard that a bit much, this challenge, people saying that, oh, I always feel that I look horrible in photos. And that's something that is really a pity if we don't have that self-love and self-kindness, etc. Do you cringe when people ask you where they can look you up because you feel your social media or your website, well, you are ashamed of them and you know that it doesn't make you look professional? You struggle to take good pictures for your social media content and waste way too much time taking or finding them. And you end up using the same old photos over and over again, or even use stock photos, which means bye-bye to authenticity. Now imagine if you would be able to feel empowered and super confident to be visible, so you truly shine and attract more of the clients that you're excited to be working with. Now, if you stay small, you will not be able to help your dream clients. Imagine if you would be able to create amazing visual content with ease and flow so you save lots of time for things that you value as important. For instance, financial freedom, travel, or time to spend with your loved ones. And imagine if you look professional and trustworthy so your dream clients feel safe spending their money with you, so you consistently hit your income goals and you have the money and time to live the life that you want. Now, let me just take a pause and look at what you are writing. That with a bit of help, I can do this. Oh, that is so funny, Willow, because that is exactly what I've put further on in the presentation. That is so funny. Kathy says the techniques for selfies, ideas for my website and social media posts. Great, that's really what I was looking for. Jade says, learning to take myself out of the box I put myself in. Yeah, that's a good one. And Laurie says, using photos to connect with your dream clients. And Jade, understanding that my self-insecurities are not the reason people have been drawn to me. Knowing they are there for the things I offer and share. And an open smile is good, says Hanneke. And yes, Hanneke, your open smile is amazing. Okay, so now let me say that especially the very first point on this list, feeling empowered and super confident to be visible so you are able to shine, that's very dear to me. I absolutely love helping women to step into their power so they blossom and shine as their true selves. Now take for example Miss Cinda. When Miss Cinda first came to me, she was a very camera shy lady who felt that she looked horrible in pictures and simply avoided being taken on photo. She lacked confidence in herself and her business, and she also struggled a lot with getting good photos done for her products that she is selling in her Etsy store. And as she did not have the budget to hire a professional photographer and was sick of modeling on herself all the time and still not getting the results that she wanted, she decided to do my coaching course, in which we first of all worked on building her confidence so she would feel empowered to step up for herself and her business. And look at Micinda now. I was so happy with these photos. These are really great. So she turned into this amazing, shiny, sparkly lady who dares to show up as her true self now, and who even enjoys and has fun capturing her spunky personality on photo, and all by herself with just her phone. So she now has no problem whatsoever with showing up as the face of her business in her own energy and power. And I'll show you the transformation of her product photos a bit later on. But this is what Micinda herself said about her transformation. I realized I don't look horrible in pictures. With just a few tweaks, I look, need I say, fabulous, especially when I let my spunky personality out. And that is so true, Micinda. So for those of you who haven't been active in the challenge yet, I'll quickly introduce myself so you know who's talking to you on this subject. I'm Petra van der Wal. I'm a brand photographer, teacher and confidence coach. And my combined experience as a photographer and a marketing specialist allows me to instantly know what kind of business photos my clients need to truly connect with their dream clients and grow their income quickly. And I also have a lot of experience with mindset work, helping my clients get over imposter syndrome or their fear of being visible. And this experience allows me to help my clients build the confidence they need to proudly be the face of their business. Now, I'm Dutch, so that's from Holland. I'm living in France since 2005. I'm the mom of 2 beautiful young men. And I'm a crazy go-kart driver, and that is something that very little people know of me and don't expect of me. Because apparently I don't have that air of a go-kart driver on me, but I really love to drive. And I'm passionate about helping business owners elevate their business and make more sales by teaching them how to stand out and truly connect with their dream clients through pro-looking photos they take with nothing but their phones. But it isn't about me and it isn't about my clients. This is all about you. So my goal today is for you to know how you can feel empowered so you can shine as the face of your business, how you can grow your business by knowing how to truly connect with your dream clients so they want to buy from you and not your neighbor, and how you can stop the struggle and work with ease and flow using proven systems and tools so you save lots of time for leading the life that you really love. So in order to do that, we will have a look at the recap of all the important key points of the challenge, which are the 3 previous points. We'll have a look at your next steps to continue the growth, and we'll have the live Q&A in which I will answer any questions that you might have during the webinar. So on day 1 of the challenge, we had a look at the basics of phone photography, and we also had a look at mindset, boosting your confidence. Now, why are these important? For the basic phone photography tips, it helps you to stop the tech struggle and immediately improve the quality of your photos. Now, I promised 2 guides with this webinar, and to be honest, with all the tech stuff happening, I didn't have time to pop them here in the chat. But what I will do is that I'll send them by email to you after the webinar, and also you can find them in the Visible with Confidence Facebook group. So you'll get those guides, promised. And the first one is a guide with 8 settings, so you can immediately improve your photos. And the second thing, the mindset, the benefit of that is that you feel free and empowered to be your authentic self and shine as the face of your business. And somehow in the challenge, we had a lot of women going through very interesting transformations. For this webinar, I just give you the 3 basic phone photography tips. Otherwise, you'll be still here tomorrow morning. But for those of you who came through Lizzie's party, you will have more of the basic tips in the course that you took. So my very first tip is to clean your lens. This seems like such a no-brainer, but I see so many photos with a haze or strange light beams that aren't supposed to be there. So you actually should clean your lens at least every time you pick up your phone for a new photography session, but preferably during your shoot as well, because you can imagine that when you touch your phone, you accidentally touch your lens quite a bit. So remember, clean your lens. Then the second tip is on how to set focus and exposure. I see that a lot of people just hit the shutter button without tapping on their screen to set the focus. And that is a problem, because in that case, you leave it up to the AI of your camera app to decide what will be in focus in your picture. And it's you who want to decide what should be 100% sharp in your picture. So what you need to do for every photo that you take, you tap on your subject, and that way it will set focus on your subject. Now for your portraits, always remember to tap on the eyes, because that's what you want to have in focus first. And tapping also sets the exposure correctly on the area that you tap on. And if ever that is not exactly the area that you need to have the exposure set correctly, which sometimes happens if, for instance, you have an overexposed background, then you might want to either bring light up to bring more light to your face, or bring light down if it's really too much. And you can do that by touching the little slider in your screen. And it's either in a yellow circle like on mine, or in a square. Just depends on what kind of phone you have. Okay, so let's talk about composition now, which is one of the most important elements of photography. And this is one of those basics that will help you get from snaps to a pro-looking photo. In my courses, we dive really deep into the many important composition rules, or tools, as I prefer to call them, because they are not actually rules you can choose from the toolbox that you have. And one of those, for instance, is leading lines, or choosing your angle and your position, storytelling. There are many, many rules that you can choose from. But for today, we'll just look at this one, as this is the most used composition rule, which is the rule of thirds. Now, who has heard from this rule already? Do you apply this already? And I'm curious also if you have already set the grid lines on your phone camera app. Michelle says, I learned about it a long time ago, but no idea how to apply it. Well, that's really cool, because you'll see how it works in just a couple of minutes time. So how does it work? As you can see, we have 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines. And the idea is that you place your subject along one of these grid lines, and that you put the main part of your subject, for instance, your product or the eyes of a person, on one of these center points. The eyes in general, you put them on the top grid line. So I have some examples for you. Laurie says, I know the rule of thirds, but eyeball it rather than grid. And Becky says, I use it a lot when take landscape photography, but I don't really apply it much on pictures of myself. Yeah, and actually in pictures of yourself, it's really important to apply it as well, because the rule of thirds, somehow it's the way that our brain works, our eyes work. Our brain is looking at these lines straight away, and especially these center points. They are also called the golden points, already used even in paintings in earlier times. And so if you follow these rules, then automatically the brain accepts a photo as really pleasing to the eye. This example of my friend Agnes, for instance, and her son, as you can see, they are perfectly placed on the right grid line and on the bottom grid line. And the action of the 2 heads together is on the top right center point, and the hand of her son on the bottom one. So I think this is a really cool example, as well as this one. And here, Becky, you see the landscape photography as well. So I can imagine that this is the way how you apply it as well. I personally love this picture because it shows all the strong points of the region that I used to live in, the Provence. I just moved with my fiancé, so I now moved to the center of France. But yeah, this reminds me of the Provence that I love very dearly. In the bottom third, you see lavender. In the middle section, you see the vineyards. And on top, you have the platen trees and the famous stone wall houses. The only thing missing in this picture are the olive trees. Now, as you can see, the division of the areas is perfectly in line with the grid, and the houses are on the top grid line, the bride on the bottom one, and her arm is following the bottom grid line. So that's how you can apply the rule of thirds in other photos than your portraits. Now, this is the famous grid in your phone camera app. So if you want to get better compositions, you go to your phone camera settings and you turn on the grid lines for the rule of thirds. And this is where you can do that. And this is also mentioned in my 8 settings guide, which, as said, I will send to you after the webinar. So how do we use these rules for our self-portraits? First of all, one important tip is to use portrait mode on your phone to get that beautiful blurry background, and that makes you stand out from your background. And it immediately makes your photos look more professional. So I would always put portrait mode on for your own pictures. And if there's a bit too much or not enough blurriness, you can always adapt the filter afterwards in your gallery. And that's true for both iPhone as Android phones. Now, as you can see in this example, my eye is exactly on the center point of the rule of thirds, which makes it naturally feel very balanced to our brain. Now, I see a lot of photos where the eyes are exactly in the middle. And what I really would love for you to do is to check your own photos now, knowing this, and see how many photos you take with the eyes of people or yourself exactly in the middle of the photo, leaving a lot of space above your head. That's really not interesting. It's much, much better to have them on the top grid line. Now, if you have someone else photographing you, just ask them to put the grid on and place the eyes on the top grid line. And also don't forget to tell them to tap on your eyes to set the focus right. This is in case you are going to take photos with someone else that we'll see further on in the webinar. Now, I have some examples of the lovely ladies in the challenge. This lovely young woman is Jade, and now you would think, why would this gorgeous young woman feel insecure in her photos too? Because that's actually the reason why Jade participated in the challenge. She's going through a really important and interesting transformation in her business, and she feels very insecure in her photos. And when you see her, you think, why? But maybe this explains. Jade was a model, and as you can see, a gorgeous model. This photo is just amazing. But therefore, she made a change in her career. She now set up her own business. She is selling crystals on the internet in her Etsy store. And she also does healing. She does Reiki, I think you say in English. And so she feels that it's really important to show up as her true natural self now. But having been a model before and having been taken care of with lots of makeup and people taking care of her hair, etc., she now feels really insecure if she needs to photograph herself without all those preparations and without all that makeup. Also, she has some acne, and so she really feels insecure about herself. So she decided to sign up for the challenge, and she already got from that photo to this one, as you can see, with her eyes on the top grid line now. And she felt so much more comfortable taking photos at the end of the challenge. Then I invited Jade into a star seat, which is what I do in my VIP coaching. We have star seats in the coaching sessions where every participant gets her moment of walking through her struggles. And whether that is technical or mindset, we are working on that together. Now, Hanneke had a very particular problem. She felt so insecure about herself, but especially about her smile. Now, God knows why, because when you look at Hanneke, she absolutely looks lovely smiling, but she had a hard time smiling, and all her photos were like this. She didn't put up any smiling photos for her business. And actually, Hanneke felt that it made her look serious, that it made her look thoughtful, but she didn't realize that people are not attracted to people not smiling. So during the challenge, we worked on getting her to smile and to make her feel better about smiling. And at the end of the challenge, Hanneke said that she now even prefers her smiling photos, and she's starting to work with me next week so we can work further on that, on her self-confidence. And same goes for Sarah. Sarah put this photo up, and the last selfie that she actually used self-portrait was 4 years ago, when she had a professional photographer make some photos of her. And she didn't put up any selfies at all after that. She only used that one because, same thing, she hates seeing herself in photo, which when we look at her, it's incredible to believe. And that's the funny thing. It's all happening inside our heads. So many of my clients have those problems, and when you look at them, you think, but why? They look perfectly fine. We are way too hard on ourselves. I personally have gained a lot of weight in the past 4 years. I think I put a slide on that somewhere further along the line. And so I really had a hard time myself in the past few years seeing myself on photo. But to be honest, you probably are not thinking, oh God, that girl really needs to go on a diet. So that is inside my head. And the same for Sarah. She's a beautiful woman, but yeah, she didn't allow herself to be in photos. And at the end of the challenge, she made a whole series of gorgeous selfies that she finally managed to share on her social media. Now, Kathy is going through an amazing business transformation. She was a teacher and speaker and now wants to bring in much more fun into her pictures. This one is really interesting. This is a really good behind the scenes photo because there is layering in that photo. And I don't know if you see it, but she actually used 3 layers, which is one of the composition rules, using layers in your photos to create depth. And that's exactly what she did here. The mic is the first layer, then herself is the second one, and the laptop is the third one on which she is working on her podcast. So this is a really interesting photo that you could do for your behind the scenes photos. And Debbie, as you can see, her background is just incredibly cluttered. So her eyes, well, sort of on the rule of thirds, but not really. She's way too much to the left, which might work in some cases if you need to put texts for Instagram, if you want to have texts next to you. So in that case, it works really fine. But here it's just, we are not even sure what we are looking at. And here you can see how her photo looks much, much more professional. Her eyes exactly on the top grid line. She's showing her products and the background is blurred. Now, obviously, these photos are taken just after 2 or 3 days in the challenge. So they are not really professionally looking already, but if you can imagine that in just 2 days' time, we got from the photos to the left to the photos on the right, that already is a huge difference. So the key point from the basic phone photography tips are: always clean your lens, tap to set focus and exposure, use the rule of thirds for your compositions, and put on the grid in your settings. And then mindset is hugely important. Almost all my clients find it really difficult to be on camera. Let me know in the chat how you feel about being on camera. Do you have any problems with that? Do you struggle with that? Yeah, Michelle hated. Yeah, I know it's something that is so common. And Becky says, makes me feel super uncomfortable. And the problem is that if you want to have a successful online business, you really need to get out there. You need to be seen and you need to stand out. It's as simple as that, because otherwise you won't sell. People want to connect with the person behind the business, and true connection is really important. Laurie says, I love taking pics, but not selfies. Yeah, and it's obviously you need a lot of photos for your business, not only selfies, but people really need to connect with the person behind the business, because nowadays they have so many choice online. There are so many coaches, or even for businesses who sell product on Etsy, it's really important to create that connection with your clients. Now, I will skip this one really quickly because I'm a bit behind, but the struggle is real. And you can see that here, that's me 4 years ago with my lovely son on my birthday. And yeah, 20 kilos lighter than the one on the right, which was this summer. And so, yeah, I found it really hard to accept my new body. A lot of stuff happened in my life, menopause and some, well, not so happy stuff happening. So I gained a lot of weight, and I know what it is to struggle with that self-image. And yet, to be honest, obviously today I still would love to go back there, but I just need to accept that this is where I am at today, and it shouldn't stop me from being out there and grow my business, not only for me, but also for my clients. Because if I don't show up for myself and therefore not show up for my clients, I actually take away the possibility for them to get my products. And I really want you to think about that when you do not show up for your business, you don't show up online, you deprive your clients from your services or your products. And that is why you are here. That is your why, your North Star. So keep that in mind. So how do you become super confident? Now, I just wanted to touch up on 2 exercises. In the VIP coaching course, we do loads of exercises, but I wanted to leave you with these 2. These are also in the guide that I'm offering you and that you will receive after the webinar. The first exercise is that I ask them to truly connect with themselves. So inside the program, we do that with a meditation, which we're obviously not going to do now. But the idea is that before you have to go on camera, whether that's for photos or a video, you just stand or sit with your feet firmly planted on the ground. You place your hand on your heart or your belly. You focus on your breath to calm yourself down and to get rid of those stressful thoughts. And then when you are calm, you turn inwards and you think of your why. So you think of why you are there helping your clients. What are you offering to them? And why is it so important for you, but also for them, that you overcome your fear and become more visible? Why is it so important to show up in your sparkly energy and getting those amazing photos done? So that is something that really helps you in the moment to realize that you are there with a purpose. And that helps you to step into your power. And the second thing that I advise my clients is to create a proud folder. Now, I don't know if you have heard of that already, if maybe some of you are doing that already, but when you create a proud folder, first of all, what is that? That's just a folder in which you keep all testimonials and thank yous from your clients. And if you haven't started yet, maybe just put in things of people that you helped with something in your personal life or whatever that may be. But whenever someone says thank you, just make a screenshot and put it into your proud folder. And whenever you have a hard day and you are suffering your imposter syndrome, you are feeling low, and obviously we all have those days, but you just look at your proud folder and immediately you will feel much, much better. I really feel that it's important that you step out of feeling shy and uncomfortable and being afraid that people will judge you, because I think that is the most important reason why we feel so uncomfortable. We are afraid of being judged, and people really aren't judging us. They are just happy that we are there sharing our knowledge with them. So be proud of yourself and have a look at that proud folder whenever you need to be reminded of that. So these are just 2 of the many exercises that we do. It's really important to do mindset exercises to step into your power and feel confident so you can step up and shine as the face of your business. Now, personally, what helps me a lot are affirmations. Like, for instance, I'm stepping up to be the best version of myself, or I'm going to make myself so proud. Those are the ones that I really like. So become super confident. What would happen if you could consistently show up with confidence and sparkle as the face of your business? How would that make you feel? And what magical transformation would happen for your business? Just have a thought about that. Don't know if you ever thought about that already, but what would it mean for you and for your business if you would make that happen. So the key points for mindset is overcome your fear of being judged and become more visible. You need to realize that your dream clients are out there. They are actually needing your help, wanting your help, and they are just waiting for you to show up and stand up in front of them. You need to get yourself in front of them, and very important, being your authentic you, because you want to attract the people that are a right fit with you. So shine as your true self and make yourself stand out by doing the mindset exercises, work on the self-love, make your proud folder, and remember your why. Now on day 2, we had a look at lighting and materials, but I'm not going to do that in here right now because that is just half an hour extra on the webinar, and I think you will scream if I would do that. So I'm not going to do that now, but you can find many tips already in my Facebook group. And for the Lizzie Party people, you have a whole section on the lighting and the material in the course that you got in the Lizzie Party. So we will have a look, however, how to take photos that truly connect with your dream clients, so they want to buy from you. They want to buy from you and not one of the multitude of businesses that are selling the same product or service as you are. Plus, you attract the client that you want to work with. So the key points in this day were: be authentic and stay true to your own values to attract the kind of dream clients that you are happy to work with. I have a whole example of this, but I'm not going to talk about this one here now. But I think that you see how this is really, really important, that you need to stay true to your own values. For instance, a really good example, I think, is if you are someone that swears a lot, and there are many coaches and people swearing on the internet, there are many people that are afraid of showing that side because they are afraid to offend someone. But it's really important that you stay true to that, because when you are doing your courses or your coaching, you want to be able to be yourself. And so you don't want to attract clients that would be offended by that. If they are offended, well, it's better that they know immediately in the first selection. So be really true to yourself. And your dream clients, they do not buy your product or your service, but they are buying the solution to their problem and that feeling that it brings to them getting the solution. So you really, really need to be aware of that. That is one of the marketing points that we are working on in the VIP coaching course. You need a really clear strategy to connect. And in that course, we spend quite some time on this, as this is really, really important to make yourself stand out. In a nutshell, it means that you really need to get to know your dream clients. So if you haven't done the market research on your dream clients, I would definitely advise you to do that as soon as possible. If you like, put in the chat if you have already done any dream client work. Did you already do your market research? Do you have your avatars? One of the things that is really important to know about them is what is their desire and what is the underlying emotion, the wanted feeling. And find how you can appeal to that feeling in your pictures. Once you have made that connection, then you will absolutely stand out to your dream clients. Now I have an example to make that more clear. For instance, here, what are you actually selling? Are you selling a candle? If you are a candle maker, are you selling a candle? Or are you selling the warm, cozy ambience that it creates? Because people are not buying a candle, they couldn't care less. They just are buying the warm, lovely, cozy ambience that they create. So you see the difference in how that makes the product appeal to you. The picture to the left, yes, it's a very clear picture of what it is, but the picture on to the right is the one that makes you want to buy. So if you let me know if you have a product or a service to sell, and what kind of product or service is that? And if you already do this, if you already are using these kind of photos to appeal to the feeling of your dream customer. I'm really curious to see what kind of businesses we have. Michelle says, I'm an editor for fiction authors. Oh, wow, that is really cool. That's really interesting for your photos as well. Do you already use creating the ambience photos, or are you photographing yourself? Photograph books mostly. And any of the other ladies, and James, what are your businesses? Becky says, I will be doing coaching, but in the past I just tended to use whatever photos I already had around, but I will definitely think about it differently now. Well, I'm really glad to read that is already what you picked up here. Inspire eco habits at home. Oh, wow, Karen, that is great. I have a friend who is thinking about doing that as well. So we had a whole discussion about that. And there are so many gorgeous photos to create there. People becoming more and more aware of eco habits. So there you can touch to a really strong feeling inside. And that's a beautiful, beautiful business to photograph. But for coaching as well, just photos of yourself is really important there. Okay, so now I'd like to pick back up Micinda's example. So you see her entire transformation during our time working together. So Micinda sells prayer squares on Etsy. Before, I never heard of that. I'm not religious myself, but apparently prayer squares are quite common. And when she first came to me, she photographed them like this. So she crotchets prayer squares, and they looked like this. And plain and simple on her table or kitchen top, without any accessories, without anything. And when I asked her why she was photographing them like that, instead of making them more attractive with beautiful religious accessories, as we just discussed before, she replied that she did not want to offend people by putting religion in her photos. But if you think about it, people who are buying prayer squares by definition are religious. So they would never be offended by seeing religious accessories. And when we were doing her dream clients work, and that's why the dream clients work is so, so important, we found that her real feeling, her actual niche, were not just religious people, but she wanted to address herself to the people who were buying her prayer squares to offer them to a loved one in need, as a way of offering love, hope, support. So when we look at the underlying feeling to which she needed to connect, those are feelings of love, hope, and support to a loved one. Micinda had a thought about that and came up with these inspirational texts that she now puts with her photos and her prayer squares, and they instantly connect with her dream clients now, and her sales went way up. And as you can see here, Micinda uses flat lace to connect with her dream clients. I don't know if you are using flat lace already, but those are an excellent way of connecting with your dream clients. They are like tiny visual stories that you can tell. In the VIP coaching course, it's an entire module. That's how important it is to use flat lace in your business. So day 3 was on how to pose with confidence, on behind the scenes, and how to work with ease and flow by batch planning your own brand photo shoots. Now that's important because if you pose with confidence, you build trust and authority. So you become the go-to person in your niche. If you don't have authority, you don't have trust, people won't see you as the person where they want to go to. The behind the scenes photos build connection. They build trust as well. And they also build likability, so they feel safe to buy from you. And well, working with ease and flow, obviously that saves you lots of time and money that you can spend on things that you love. Now, how to pose with confidence. I'm going to go through this one rather quick. So if you want to take a screenshot of this or take your phone and just take a photograph, then you will have all the important points. One thing already is find your signature pose, because that's the pose that you can step into every time that you hesitate or someone points a camera at you and you go into this help mode. Remember your signature pose and immediately you can feel comfortable enough to look good in your photo. It's funny how our brain works. If you practice this And the minute you step into that pose, your brain will relax and tell yourself that you look good. So it's really important that you do this. And find your best angle and practice that as well, because we all have a good angle. So find that and practice it. A really good tip is make an inspiration board to be inspired by others. You can do this on Canva, for instance, or Pinterest. You can do that with any program that you'd like to work with. Just save all the poses that you really like and find the one that fits your style best and make that your signature pose. Now, if you look at the hands, do you see how they are nice and relaxed all of the times? And that's because they do something with their hands. Our hands are one of the first things where you see tension. So make sure that you just hold your vest, you hold your hat, your glasses, whatever you can hold, but make sure that your hand is really relaxed. Okay, so as said, make sure to practice in front of a mirror to see the effect of the changes and also to make this really, really comfortable for yourself. Just don't laugh too hard when you are doing this, because it feels really silly when you are doing this. James, I hope that this isn't too weird for you, seeing all the women poses, etc. The can't go wrong pose that I'm showing here for women, it's really important to turn your shoulders slightly because that makes you look slimmer. And when you stick your chin out and you push it down a little bit, then you create a beautiful chin line. James, for you, it's the opposite. You don't want to turn your shoulders away. You just make yourself broad and you turn straight to the camera. But ladies, we don't want to look broad, so we turn away from the camera. Now, the same thing, I'm not going to dive into this. If you have the Lizzie course, you have all this. And otherwise, I just ask you to take a screenshot now. So here we go. So the key points for the behind the scenes photos are that you build trust and likability and connection. So your dream clients feel safe to buy from you. And when you create an inspiration board on Canva or you list the type of images that you would like to use, you have lots of inspiration because it can be really complicated to find inspiration. You need to make a photo for your social media content and you're like, oh my God, what do I need to do this time? So make yourself a list or an inspiration board, and then you can tap into that anytime that you need to create something. One of the photos that people really love to see is you at work. So this is a woodworker that I photographed when I was still working as a professional photographer. Close-ups from your hands doing the work are really, really good. They love to see that. So for instance, this photo that Hanneke made during our challenge, close-up of your hands actually working on your product. She makes doodles. This one from Kathy doing the challenge as well. And Kathy decided to step into the program, so we will be working together afterwards to guide her through that transformation that she's going through. This is me. This is an idea as well to photograph yourself working in your favorite cafe. What is a really nice one for this one as well, by the way, is if you do a brand photo shoot with a friend or a business relative, then it's really nice if you sit yourself at the window and they take a photo from the outside. That completely changes the dynamic of the photo. So those are just some behind the scenes ideas. And this one is Macinda, who took that photo during the challenge. You relaxing at home. So any other ideas, you doing your sports in your favorite restaurants, cooking dinner for your family, if ever you want to share family moments as well, maybe at a retreat, saying that it's really good to have time away from your business as well, to empty your head and come back with amazing energy for your business. So behind the scenes ideas, it can be anything from creating your products to anything personal that you would like to share. Now, when my clients come to me, often they don't have the budget to hire a pro photographer every time they need new pictures. And as they felt fed up with having to model on themselves and not getting the results they want, they decide to get the skills and the tools to do it themselves with just their phones. And
obviously that saves loads and loads of money on brand photo shoots. Now, planning is absolute key to do a successful brand photo shoot. You can do it yourself, but you need to plan this really well. And it's also really good to create ease and flow in your content stream, because imagine, instead of having to take photos every time that you need to put up a post, if you can condense that all into one good day of making your content and a photo shoot, you save yourself so much time. Now, these are examples of photos that I took during my own photo shoot with my client and now friend Ilya, that we did with just our phones. These are the exact photo shoots that I teach, that I do with my clients in my VIP coaching course, as well in my Mastered in One Day Star Self photography offer. So when we do these photo shoots, I teach you how to do them yourselves, but in the course, we actually do 3 of those in a done with you version. So you go out and do that photo shoot yourself, but at the same time, I'm there with you on WhatsApp or Messenger, whatever you prefer. And in the preparation to the photo shoot, I'm looking at your planning, you are preparing your entire photo shoot. And when you start doing that, you take a video of the entire scene, so I can judge your lighting and your setup. I will give you my feedback on that, and you start doing your photos. And with every little struggle that you might run into, you just pop your photo to me. I give you my feedback. I tell you, now you should, for your composition, you should lower yourself a little bit. You should do this. You should add light. You should step a little bit more to this to have more natural light. Whatever it is, whatever your struggle is, you get actual help at the time. And that way you learn really quickly, and you learn all the skills to do it yourself afterwards. And in the Star Self Photography Day, there's one of those photo shoots included. In the VIP coaching program, there are 3 of those photo shoots included. Now, when you plan your shoots carefully, you can really stop wasting huge amounts of time of frantically trying to search or to take good photos for your social media content whenever you need to post. The other advantage is that you will build your own stock of authentic photos that are really you. So no stock photos anymore. You just, for every situation that you want to have a photo for, you have your own authentic photo that really connects with your audience. So you streamline your work and you save lots of time, but also you connect much more with your audience. These are the photos that I took of Ilya. So what I would do for behind the scenes photos for the brand photo shoot, I would advise you to go with a friend or a biz bestie. If you don't have one near you now, what you could do is, for instance, you go on a Facebook group in your region, in your village or town, or if you find business people near you, and you just ask if anybody's interested in doing regular photo shoots with you, so you can build that stock of photos. And in the beginning, I would think that at least once a month you would need to do a photo shoot, but it goes really so quickly, because during your photo shoot, you are not only taking the photos at that moment, but you are very efficient in taking multiple photos from one scene. So that means that you build your stock really quickly. So after 2 months, you can already go to a 2-monthly photo shoots and then to a 3-monthly photo shoot. I do advise a 3-monthly photo shoot, because that way you can go with the seasons. So that's the tip of the Connect with a Local Business Owner. Now, as said, planning is absolutely key. We work an entire module on this in the course, so it's really a lot of information. So obviously, I'm not able to go through this in the short time we have here together. But again, take a screenshot. You're welcome to take a screenshot. At least you have the big lines. For the planning, it's really important that you list all the pictures you need, but really all the pictures that you need. Make an inspiration board. Organize that shoot with your best friend or a relative. Get your hair and makeup done by a professional, because how good is that if you feel really beautiful and pretty? I get quite a lot of times the questions, do I need to put makeup on? Because I don't do that in real life. No, don't turn yourself into a Barbie doll. I would just like to say, if you're not used to wearing makeup, please do put on just a little bit of lip gloss and maybe a bit of mascara, because otherwise in your photo you look washed out really, really quickly. And just a little bit of a gloss and some mascara, or maybe a little bit of blush. You don't need to put up the whole thing, but yeah, just bring some depth into your photo with that. Write out which outfits, products, accessories you need for those photos to make sure that they connect. For the outfits, it's really important when you do a shoot that you think of taking 2 or 3 outfits with you, with some accessories, etc. Because if you forget, you are wearing the same clothes on your social media for all month. So think of taking multiple outfits with you. And don't forget to make a list of the material, the tech material that you need as well. Now, in my courses, I have templates for each and every step, from listing all those photos. I have a checklist for that, as well as Trello templates for planning the photo shoots. And when you have done your social media batch content planning, and if you don't do that yet, I have a free workshop on that in my Facebook group. So if you would like to see that, go to my free Facebook group. I'll put the link in the comments afterwards in the chat. I have a free Grow Your Visibility series there, where you can do a workshop on how to batch plan your social media content. And from that, I have that Trello template to list all the photos that you need. And from that, it leads to another Trello template where you can drag all those photos into your photo shoot. So every detail is worked out, which saves you loads and loads of time and money. Now, this is Lindsay, a psychotherapist helping her clients work through really, really tough times. And this is really interesting where the authenticity part is coming in, because you would say that when you work with people who are going through really tough times, and she's helping people who are terminally ill, so really, really tough stuff to deal with. But Lindsay is working a lot with fun and humor in her therapies. So instead of taking pictures of her looking very serious, which you might expect, she actually shows a lot of her fun side in her photos. And Lindsay has been struggling for ages and ages with her self-image. She didn't have any photos of herself on her website, and she wasn't visible elsewhere. So that didn't help her in getting new clients, because when people are looking for a therapist, and especially in that situation, they want to connect with the person they are going to. So they really, really want to see a photo. So when she first came to me, we got clarity on what made her authentic, so the fun part. Then we worked on how she could put that into her images, and the end result was absolutely amazing. She now has a series of really, really good photos that she can use on her website. So you now have seen how you can overcome your fear and build confidence by doing the mindset exercises, which is really, really important. So you can truly shine and stand out and become the to-go-to person in your area of business. And people just feel safe to buy from you. You have seen how you can truly connect with your dream clients to make sure that you attract them to you and that they actually want to buy from you and not someone else. And we've seen how you can use batch planning to create your social media content with ease and flow, so you gain lots and lots of time to spend on things that you value as important, like travel or family. So I hope that you now know that you too can have all of that and create the business and the life that you want. So how can I help you with that? What are the next steps that you could take and that I would love to take with you? I'm doing the From Shy to Shining 6 months VIP coaching course. This coaching course will help you shine and stand out and grow your business with stunning, authentic images that truly connect. And it's based on my 3 pillars: the mindset, connection, and ease and flow. You will learn all the skills and tools to master your own business photography, so you can save thousands and thousands on professional photo shoots. Also, and I think this is something to not underestimate, you can save loads on missed out income, because if you don't change anything in your visual presence today, where will you be in 6 months' time? And that's something that's often overlooked, but really important. And also in marketing, I mean, I come from a both photography and marketing background. But it's a bit like the chicken and the egg problem, because there are so many things that you need to do, and you want to build your business, you want to get out there, you want to be visible. But if your visual presence isn't good enough and you feel social media shame or website shame, it's so hard to actually sell because you feel uncomfortable getting out there. So many, many reasons to jump in with me and get over that. So how does this work? It's a 6-month coaching course to bring you all those skills that you need to become irresistible to your dream clients and make more sales. It's 8 modules with 29 video lessons. It's 9 coaching sessions. So every 2 weeks we have a coaching session. And once one of the sessions is replaced by a fully guided done with you brand photo shoot. The photo shoot that I was talking about earlier, those are 3-hour shoots. That seems really long, but I can assure you that 3 hours is really nothing. It's over before you know it. So 3 fully guided photo shoots for practical support exactly when you need it. You have the weekly pro feedback sessions in the Shooting Stars, which is a private member group. And as the bonuses, I have 5 bonus workshops on Instagram Reels, because obviously that's hugely important now as well, to be able to make short videos for TikTok, Instagram Reels, etc. So there's a bonus workshop on that. Social content, media planning, branding, styling, makeup. And there are loads of guides and templates to make your life much, much easier, and you can work with ease and flow, and you don't have to invent everything yourself. So for those of you who are more visual, that looks something like this. So the 6 months coaching course, 8 modules, these are the pillars and lessons, the shoots, the VIP clients, Facebook group, 2 monthly the group coaching calls. And it's really important to know that inside those coaching calls, you have your star sheet, and the star sheet is about 15 to 20 minutes where we will help you overcome your struggles. Inside the coaching calls, we do the mindset exercises, and you will learn lots and lots and lots from the other people in the star sheets, because often they come up with stuff that you didn't think of or haven't run into yet. So those are really interesting to see as well. And then all the bonuses, workbooks, etc. So what is your investment in this? The 6 months VIP coaching course normally is 1,197 euros. I've put the conversion here on the right-hand side. So normally it's 1,197. I'm offering this round for 997 in one single payment. Or, and as I know that there are many, many starting business owners, I've put it at just 169 euros per month, which comes to 1014, I think, in total, if you add that all up. And so for only 169 euros per month, you get 6 months of this VIP coaching course. So you can start working with me straight away and grow your business from the beginning on. And I honestly know that you will be able to earn back those 169 euros per month easily once you make yourself seen with sparkly confidence and in a way that make you look authentic, professional, and trustworthy. So there's also a self-study version. I must be honest, I'm not keen on doing a self-study version, but I got that question because there were some people who really couldn't invest in the total and asked me to put up a self-study version. I've been hesitating a lot because I think my value is really in the coaching and in the support. Obviously, there are really good lessons to do on your own. They get the exact version as in the VIP coaching course, but just without my support. So that's a possibility as well. So one more message from Micinda, and I wished I put someone else in there. I realize now, because now it seems that Micinda is my only client, but I can reassure you that that is not the case. But I wanted to show her total transformation. But inside my group, there are many of my clients, and I will put some more up in the upcoming days. But this message she sent to me during the course, and it really got to me because it's exactly why I am doing this. She says, "Hi Petra, I wanted to thank you for several things. First of all, you let me know that it was okay to have my faith out there and still have a successful business. You helped me find my signature picture look, my branding, and my positive words of affirmation. You helped me build my confidence, not only in my business and products, but myself and my ability to take those wow scroll-stopping pictures. And lastly, you helped inspire this new project. Not sure how to photograph it yet, but here's a rough draft. You are really touching lives and changing them for the better. I know testimonials often we ask from people, but this one she sent to me spontaneously during the course, and it just blew me away. But this is exactly why I'm doing this, and I would love and love and love to do this with you as well. So let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to scroll through the chat. We are starting, so therefore not next week, but the week after. And there are already some lovely ladies in there. So I would love to see you there as well. Michelle says this was great. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. So are there any questions that I might help you with? Just scrolling through this chat as well to see if there's anything in there. Becky says this was really lovely and I learned a lot. You're welcome. Thank you so much for this.
Kathy said it has been fabulous. And Willow says, this has been a lot of fun and I've been playing more now with my camera phone, and I will be playing more and more over the next few days, maybe even with my partner's business, computer repair. Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, this works for any business that you can think of. Jade said, I had so much fun. Thank you for creating a safe space where you could push us and motivate us. Yeah, I'm really pleased, Jade. I was so happy that you joined us. Sarah says, I've a couple of photos taken years ago via a mobile, so low quality. One, is it best to not use it, or would Canva or Snapseed be able to extrapolate and interpret? No. Yeah, Sarah's asking if you can up the quality with Snapseed or Canva, and the answer is no. What you can do, there is an app that will allow you to up the quality of your pictures. So even if you are missing pixels and everything, even old photos that have scratches. And I had a look at that myself a couple of months ago, but it's super expensive. Well, it depends. If you just have one photo, you wouldn't get it, because I think it was something like 160 euros or something like that. So that is quite expensive, but if you use that on a regular basis for your business, it's something else. But I'll look it up and I'll put the link in the comments. Let me see. Elena is saying, my question is the following. Hi Petra, thank you so much for this challenge. I love it. Great. My question is the following. I'm from Belarus with a lot of tough things going on here. So somehow I feel guilty to post photos with me smiling and shining. And I know that my audience is people who are having a lot of struggles at the moment, though I feel that people need someone to refocus their attention. So what advice on how to appear on photos in such situations? As an entrepreneur and global entrepreneurship ambassador, I want to help women to reach fulfillment through launching their dream businesses. Thank you. Yeah, that is a really good question and a delicate point, because I see your point that when your country is in struggle, that it is hard to smile and pretend that nothing is going on. But at the same time, who are you helping by being in that same not smiling feeling? I know that's a matter of empathy and that you are afraid of hurting people's feelings, but in the end nobody is helped if everybody stops smiling. There are still reasons to smile, and there are still reasons to find the good things in life and to be grateful for the good things in life. And so I feel that even in difficult situations, look at, for instance, Lindsay, my client that I showed earlier in the presentation. Lindsay is a therapist who's working with people who are dealing with sickness, but the way that she presents herself is with a big smile, because she uses fun and humor in her work. And so I think that is really strong, actually. I think that is something to think about. So yeah, that would be my advice, to not stick in that mode. But you can explain it maybe. You can put something on your website or your social media and say that why you think it's important to smile. So that was Elena. Yeah, Vanessa. Let's look at Vanessa. Taking photos of flat objects. What are the tips for these? Vanessa. Yeah, that is actually an entire lesson in my course, an entire lesson of like 30 minutes or something. No, even more. I think it's maybe like a 45-minute lesson. So I can't do all of that in the couple of minutes that I have here with you. But first of all, if you are making flat lace, and that is something that Jade did, I think, yesterday. When you start with flat lace, a lot of people have the tendency to put the objects on the table and then take a photo that all the objects are inside your photo. But the idea of a flat lay is that it's storytelling, giving the impression as if you take a snap at the moment that you walk by. So it's a snap that tells a little story. It's visual storytelling. And so actually the idea is that the objects walk out of the photo. So they run out of the edges of the photo. And that is one tip that I should give. So don't have room around your objects, make them run out of the photo. And another tip is really important, is to use objects that connect with your dream clients. So if you're brand new, please look at the workshops in the challenge, and there you will see how important it is to connect with your dream clients. So that's that one. Just scrolling back if I didn't miss any questions. And I'm sorry, my Facebook is so terribly slow because I'm doing the live that I can't see the questions. So I'll just answer all your questions here and I'll do a pop-up live in the group tomorrow or the day after. Kathy, finding a friend like your biz bestie is challenging for me when I've tried before. If the person doesn't have at least a sense of photography and composition, I'm very unhappy with the results. Any tips for briefly coaching someone if I can't find someone who does? Yeah, it's easier obviously when you are in my program because then you really master the skills yourself. And you will know exactly how to coach that other person. But the first thing is already to put on the grid on the phone. So they definitely have to put on the grid on the phone, in the grid of the rule of thirds, and then you explain how the rule of thirds work. So that's the first thing that I would do. And the second thing is that you have to be the one responsible for the lighting, because they won't know that. So you would have to explain how the lighting works and that you will have to get into the natural light. And and one tip also is to say, get closer than you think you should be. In one of my previous challenges, we had a lot of examples of people taking photos from way too far away. You really need to get closer than you think. So, but other than that, yeah, it's a bit challenging because that's actually giving sort of a mini course in a mini course. See if you can find maybe in local Facebook groups or local networking groups, and maybe just a friend who's a good photographer that wants to do that. And if it's not every month, maybe once every 3 months. Any brand shoot that you can do is in the pocket. So. And you can do them yourselves. I mean, I have done several myself, and look at the cafe photo, for instance. That was just me and my tripod. So you can do it yourself. It's just more pleasant to do it with someone else, and it's easier to do it with someone else. But you can do it yourself, and in my course, you will learn 100% how you can do this yourself. Okay. Vanessa said, understood, fantastic, this was helpful, thank you. How and where can I learn more? Yeah, so just by looking in the challenge, and there you will find more information. And Kathy says, thanks, I might have to rely on my tripod, yeah, at least for a while. Jade, have them join Petra van der Waal page to learn tips. Oh yeah, oh Jade, you're really good. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I have not only the challenge group, I also have the Visible with Confidence group, which is my Facebook group in which you get loads of tips and tricks and where you can find the Grow Your Visibility workshop series. Just follow me on Facebook because I'm putting up a lot of stuff on my personal Facebook page as well. Thank you, Jade. So Willow says, when my daughter is home, she is the one who took the pictures of me in the hat. So finding someone with a bit of a good eye and only needs some tweaking, BizBuddy. Yeah, it is a good idea to find a BizBuddy to do your brand photo shoots. But keep in mind that for doing your brand photo shoots, you still need to do the entire planning. You still need to know, you have all the checklists. You still need to know how to take the photos that connect. So yeah, getting a BizBuddy is a really good tool, but it's a tiny tool of getting the right pictures that you need. In Petra's course, she teaches you how to do all these pictures independently. Yeah. Without the need for another person. Yeah, absolutely. It is handy to have someone, but you can do it all by yourself. Let me see. Gosh, where are my glasses on my head? So the biggest takeaways for Sarah: the rule of thirds, the grid lines, and how to set up the selfie. Plus the feedback, great. Elena, biggest takeaway, the rule of thirds, the mood board, and how to plan and prepare your photo shoots. And Kathy, there are so many things I'm taking from this challenge: more confidence, ideas for selfies and flat lays. Hanneke says lots. And Sarah says Snapseed and Canva mood boards. Vanessa, I just joined today. Oh yeah, okay, look forward to learning lots. Laurie says working with the inspiration board. Jade, my biggest takeaway is still the self-confidence, but I learned lots of tips for photography I'm excited to put to use. Elena, not yet, starting from tomorrow I'll do it. Elaine, the thing that I need to remember most is to look at the camera and not the screen for selfies. Yes, Elaine, I noticed that. That's what I mentioned for you. And Willow is saying, I'm loving the flat lace. Rainy says, biggest takeaway, selfie with the grid and portrait function. And Hanneke is holding thumbs. And still need to study the flat lace, tons of things. Okay, I would be really, really pleased to be able to work with you and help you set your business up for success in 2023. So ladies, I'm going to leave you with this. Jade says, thank you again for a wonderful workshop. You are really welcome. And I'll see you tomorrow for the prize draw. Bye bye. Have a lovely evening.